And what is important is that all these people participate in the labor market. While, in Italy and in other countries, gender equality is something that has a long way to go. We have with us other representatives, Daniela Bernacchi, Executive Director of the UN's Global Comfort Network, Miriam Carla D'Aserio, CEO of Gruppo 24 Ore, Amber Martone, Vice President ICR Cosmetic Industries, and Elena Schneider, responsible of ESG engagement, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti. When we look at the labor market in Italy, very often we talk about the gender gap, but one of these the reasons of this gap is that the access to labor market for women is really very difficult. Is below other European countries. So we complain about the situation of Italy, but we must do a lot. And if we look from the UN perspective, the difference is even more pronounced. Daniela Bernacchi. Executive Director of UN Global Compact, 198 countries. Thank you, Luca, because you gave the sentiment on this topic. I asked to show a video because we are at the end of this long day, so it can animate a little bit panel.
Women hold only 20.4% of board seats, only 15.7% of CFO positions, only 6.4% of board chair positions, and only 5.1% of CEO positions. Eliminating discrimination against female workers could boost productivity by up to 40%, because equality means business.
Okay, so we just saw these figures. Only 5% of women in the world are CEO. Only 15% of women are CFO, and few of them are in the sit in the board of directors. How does it fit in the Agenda 2030? Well, we carried out an analysis at the end of 2023, and only 15% of 169 target will be hit on time. So we need to accelerate. If we look at target number 5, the gender equality, only 13% of sub-targets will be achieved. So we are in a different scenario, and the gender equality has a lower position. We need urgent interventions. And it will take over 169 years for women to achieve full economic empowerment, and 131 years to close the global gender gap to allow women to participate in political life. So we are really far from achieving the goals. What's the situation in Italy? Well, in Italy, the situation is worsening versus the UF figures, because we lost some positions. In 2022, we were 63 in the ranking. Now we are 79 in this ranking. According to IGE, European Gender Equality Institute, our situation is not bad compared to the 27 EU member states. We are 14th, but we are the last country in terms of women job occupancy, so 52%. And 1/3 of these women leaves the job after maternity, and this rate is between 11 and 40% for managers. So it's an opportunity on which we can work. And we talk about businesses. And what is the result for businesses? Well, there is a competitive advantage that we could achieve, because gender equality could offer $1.2 trillion, and a great opportunity in Europe to increase our well-being and development. And if we look at the businesses. This survey carried out by Boston Consultant and confirmed by Fed managers, only having 11% more CEOs will entail 23% more innovation and more reputation, because diversity is considered positive. So this would not only be a right choice for companies that could become more competitive and could have more business opportunities by increasing their gender equality. Therefore, I hope that after all the discussions we heard so far, I hope that next year we will have a man that speaks about this topic and could act in a very inclusive way. What the UN Secretary General said is that the gender inequality is the overwhelming injustice of our age, and at the same time is the biggest human rights challenge we face, because the women's rights are human rights. Thank you. Thank you. Daniela Bernacchi, perfect. Thank you. You stick to your time. Now, 5.1% of CEOs in the world are women. So we had to select one. And we selected the CEO of the Gruppo 24 Ore, Miriam Cartia d'Asero. She's a woman. Okay, that's a witness of this inclusion path. But within the group, she has already started an acceleration on these topics. I mean, we organized many companies, and then if you have to select the CEOs, it's difficult to find women. But we have this path, it's somewhat difficult, but we can start somewhere. Okay, you heard, it's some controversy has been sparked. I want to thank Letizia Moratti. It's my second participation in this forum. Last year I was connected, and now I'm here in presence, and so I can notice the big difference in this type of participation. We said that our industrial plan is based on sustainability. This afternoon, I'd like to make a brief overview of my group, and I want to tell you what Sole 24 Ore has started to do in its industrial plan that is based on sustainability. That's why the title of this forum is Sustainable Economy. It's not only economy, it's a sustainable. So we must start from figures to see if there is a financial sustainability. If you start from values, you can increase your values and you can increase your profits. So you see that our turnover has increased. All financial indicators show a growth. There is an EBITDA growing. The net financial positioning has increased. So we reduced, we changed when we moved from losses to growth. So this means that if you have a business plan centered on sustainability, you can get good results. I want to tell you how we started. We had the gender equality certification. Obtaining this certification is important just to fill the gender pay gap. And for us, it is a starting point. We decided to have a certain criteria that could be measurable and monitorable. And in 2023, we renewed our gender equality certification. That's what Lucas said. So having women in the panels, we always try and have women in our panels during our events. Then we obtained the ESG plan certification. Another starting point, because we decided to work not only on gender gap but also on people engagement. We implied our business population in sustainable mobility, in sporting activity, in educational activities. So we offered 1,000 euros for every newborn because the demographic winter is a problem. And so we offered this 1,000 euro incentive to pay the nursery. In 2023, we confirmed the direction of our sustainable policy, sustainable economy. So we improved this plan and we confirmed the plan up to 2027. We adhere to the Global Compact and we launched initiatives inside our companies. We believe we are a hub not only for economy and finance, but also for social and political initiatives. And we wanted to offer an example of our activity in the company and outside the company. I start from the external approach. So this sustainability is visible in contents. We measured all our contents in terms of sustainability. It was not always, positive, but now all journalists are proud to say that they deal with the sustainable topics and issues. Now, what does it mean? The quality of life is one of our key elements we measure. Then we have stars of the south, morning stars, and many other contents and activities on Radio 24. I can tell you that on Radio 24 we have many broadcasts. Nobody's Perfect with Maria Latella, Lessons of Future, but also other events where we offer the best example of our sustainable approach. The Festival of Economy in Trento. So a few days ago, we had a press conference in Trento, and it will be a very successful festival because we also obtained a certification for this festival. We tried to limit as much as possible energy consumption. And we also have other specific events like a sustainability forum or Women at the Top. We organize with the Financial Times and Sky TG24, where we celebrate female excellence. Then the Manifesto of Financial Education. I'm very proud of this manifesto because, financial education is a lever for improving the skills of low literate people who don't know what is a current account, and therefore developing a financial autonomy is important for women to get independent. Hilary Blasio, Roberta Capua, many others became members of this manifesto, and we will celebrate the manifesto at the Trento Festival of Economy. And then many other initiatives, have been launched for sustainability. We also have some training courses for tax experts and many other success. Minus 14% of energy savings. We are not alone. Many other companies put sustainability at the center of their policies because it is profitable. We saw that other companies like ours that concentrated on sustainability obtained better results. In a period where the only certainty is uncertainty, the only possibility is inclusive capitalism, as Pope Francis reminded us.
Tra l'altro, per esempio, in queste settimane, chi di voi legge il giornale vede tra le varie iniziative di sostenibilità e di inclusività questa serie che noi facciamo sulle pagine dove opero spesso anch'io, che sono quelle di Imprese e Territori, andare a vedere le aziende che riescono a dare lavoro ai carcerati che sono sulla via, diciamo, di un recupero e di un reinserimento nella società, nella certezza, perché poi le statistiche raccontano questo, che i tassi di recidiva delle persone che riescono a reinserirsi in questo modo sono drasticamente ridotti, e noi cerchiamo di raccontare questo anche per fare, come dire, benchmarking.
Reiteration crime, era in italiano. Amongst people who are in the Italian job market are reduced. So Ambra Martoni. Now we're going to look at another business sector. Good afternoon, and thanks to everyone. It is a great pleasure for me to share a few ideas in sustainability, starting from a reality I'm very well aware of because it's part of our family history as entrepreneurs. For me, there are three main values that I would like you to pay attention to, which is authenticity, coherence, and the central role of human beings. And I would like to start from the beginning, from my roots, and looking at the future. So our history starts from my grandfather. We created a company for the production of perfume in the world. Now with the slide I would like to show you, I did have a wonderful picture of my grandfather to tell you about the history from where everything started, so enhancing the past by looking at the future. He founded a pharmaceutical company, and his strength was indeed to apply pharmaceutical science to cosmetics. You can see him very proud. He won an Oscar and allowed us to go from the Milanese company to ICR, Industrie e Cosmetiche Riunite, producing over 150 million bottles per year with all the main perfumes, the most loved perfumes in the world, with over 6,500 employees. You can see here before and after. And I think that the key of our success was promoting sustainability, 360-degree digitization, energy efficiency, certification, because obviously we need to pay attention to the supply chain and everything. So now this is not even just a competitive advantage, it is fundamental to be able to work with any brand and any company. So the topic is indeed the central role of people, and part of it is played by the Made in Italy because it is a fundamental value, and it is not only a guarantee of quality, but of commitment for our company. I think for our community, sorry, and this is the best place to talk about communities because you know you can give a lot in a community. Also, we are thinking in terms of the implications of growth. You can see here the old factory before we came to Lodi, and so we decided to do a project of sustainability, the first hotel à parfum in the world. So we just wanted to provide an example of industrial architecture where everything was inspired by history. And so we are promoting the sense of smell. We have suites inspired by old design with sustainability and a concept of beauty as a fundamental value to be shared. So all of our guests can smell the perfume through initiatives. And the smell is an important part of our lives, which is connected to the sense of well-being. We do dinners with perfume, we do cocktails, and of course we know that this is all connected to beauty, to aromatherapy, and so in this sense, it's important to talk about one's passions, one's strength, and as we are in the world of perfume, we wish to share the backstage of this production, of this excellence that we bring in the world. Thank you so much.
Grazie ad Ambra Martone.
Thank you, Ambra Martone, Cassa Deposito e Prestiti. Elena Schneiver is talking about ESG and cash. We have changed the way we value investments. In the past, we were investing with different criteria and objectives. Now we are also talking about assessing the impact that goes beyond profit. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I have just a few slides to show you. I'm going to start from this. It is difficult to we did say, it was mentioned before, that it's difficult to get a loan from a bank if you're not sustainable. Up to 2 years ago, our assessments were mainly financial and legal. So there's an operation, there's a risk. I'm going to take a look at the potential yield. Now we need to look at the social and economic and environmental impact of the operation itself. Now, the key element here, and I'm not going to talk about women, I'm going to talk about social and economical dimension. Now, if finance and the financial world has this role, you know, we need to accompany companies towards a transition. We have looked at the environment, and we are not taking care of the social and governance dimension. And this is why we have changed our ways, and we also need to assess the impact of the operations we are carrying out. So we need to take into account the allocation that we have decided of over 80% of our resources on sustainable development, with the ensuing impact in terms of GDP, production value, and occupation, especially female occupation. But these are figures. I just wanted to give you 3 examples of how you can push the social dimension to the Social Institute of Promotion, with the task of gathering the Italian excellence on the territory. First of all, social infrastructure. This is an historical role. Every year, together with the banking foundation, we have the task of creating and requalifying schools, hospitals. Why are they important? Because access to these quality services is the only way to reduce inequality at 360 degrees. But also infrastructures are expensive, so how do we finance those? On the one hand, we sustain them, on the other, our task is to gather funds to allocate them towards these finalities. So since 2017, we are the first issuers of social bonds, and this means taking resources from international investors, allocating them to healthcare construction or school constructions, especially, for example, in less wealthy areas or areas that are struck by natural catastrophes. Now, investment and financing is important, but on a software level. 2 years ago, we've created a foundation, CDP Foundation, which deals with third sector tenders to sustain projects, art and culture, and scientific research. So the first commitment of the foundation is supporting projects that are countering school dropout. And last but not least, and I wish to connect to what was said before, people are extremely important. Now, there is no topic of investment of money here. There is a topic of time and competence.
For instance, in the Anglo-Saxon world, we already have these examples, but we created a business program with the third sector to distribute food, to raise funds for research. So skills projects, projects to support people in the peripheries. But 3,000 hours per year is an important return. It's the same return you can get from a funding. But that's the beginning of a path, and I think the financial world should support SMEs, public administration, people in this ESG transition, in order to see that this green transition could be also more equitable from a social point of view. Thank you. Thank you, Elena Schneider. Thank you, Daniela Bernacchi, Ambra Martone, Miriam Cartia, Dasero for sticking to time. We were a little bit late, but we tried and recover this delay.